You wake up one morning. You go to get your coffee. You open your banking app on your phone, but it won't load. You say, the internet must be down. Then you go to the ATM and there's a huge poster on it. Out of service. The market is open but doesn't accept cards. The gas station wants cash only. You need to send your rent, but your landlord won't accept a transfer. At first you think, it's definitely a temporary issue. But then the desperation in the streets becomes impossible to ignore. Long lines in front of banks, people clutching cash tightly in the markets. The TV announces, the financial system is under emergency investigation. And in that moment, a truth hits you. Your money wasn't actually where you thought it was. It was always just a digital number, and the screen has gone dark. It feels like a movie scene, but it's not. It has happened before, and in countries that thought they were safe. And when it happens, life doesn't wait politely. It disappears in an instant. Argentina 2001, a country collapsing overnight. Years of bad economic policies, debts, and so on pushed the government into a dead end. People were pulling their money out of banks and converting it to dollars. Banks couldn't handle it, and the government hit the switch. The doors closed. They called it corralito, meaning little fence. But for the people, it was basically a prison. You could only withdraw 250 pesos a week. Dollar accounts were forcibly converted to pesos. The value of money dropped by half within days. Middle-class families disappeared overnight. Bread, milk, rent, all suddenly became luxuries. Cyprus 2013, deposits seized. The EU forced the government to freeze deposits to save the banks. Money above 100,000 euros was taken. It wasn't the richest that suffered. It was businesses, retirees, and families trying to educate their children. Lebanon 2019, even if you have money, you don't. Bank said, you can only withdraw a few $100s a month. Even if you had millions, it didn't matter. People became so desperate that some stormed banks with guns. USA 1933, even the world's giant shut down. During the Great Depression, Roosevelt closed all banks for 4 days. No one could withdraw cash. Businesses couldn't pay salaries. The entire country froze. The summary is this. Banks do not hold your money the way you think they do. How does the system work? In the system called fractional reserve banking, most of the money you deposit doesn't actually stay in the vault. You deposit $1,000, the bank keeps only a small portion and loans out the rest. One person's loan becomes another person's deposit, which is then loaned again, and so on. Suddenly, the same money is created over and over. The economy grows, yes. But when panic hits and everyone tries to withdraw, there is no money to give, because the money simply doesn't exist. That's why the system survives entirely on trust. Once trust breaks, the run begins, and even the strongest bank can't survive. So what do governments do? They protect the banks, not you, because if banks collapse, the economy stops. If the economy stops, governments fall. In Argentina, Cyprus, and the US, the same thing happened. To save the system, they restricted people's access to their own money. Deposit insurance? It exists in name only. If the whole country demanded their money, the fund couldn't possibly cover it. These insurances are like mood pills. They calm you, but they don't truly protect you. What happens when banks close? Salaries don't get paid. Cards don't work. Supply chains collapse. Shelves empty. People lose hope. A technical decision turns into a social crisis. This isn't just in the past. In Greece in 2015, people waited hours just to withdraw 60 euros. In Lebanon, factories couldn't buy raw materials. In Cyprus, people lost years of savings overnight. Today, everything is digital, so the risk is even bigger. If the server crashes, the banking app won't open, or they say your account is frozen. Your wealth hangs in the air instantly. So what should you do? The answer, not panic. The real solution? Build a resilient financial structure. Don't keep all your money in one place. Diversify assets. Keep some cash. Have alternatives like gold, real estate, and different accounts. These aren't old-fashioned. They're oxygen masks for crises. Real wealth is the money you can actually access when you need it. Final words. As seen in many countries around the world, the truth is, your money is yours only as long as the system allows it. If you have access, you have ownership. If you don't, it's just a number. One day, the question might not be, what if the banks close? But, they closed. What do I do now? If this perspective made sense to you, don't forget to subscribe. History has a lot to teach us, and I'll show you where to look.